Hello, good morning, everybody. So just this quick update video about Euro USD and DXY, of course, just before the NFP and Lagarde speaking in about 45-50 minutes now. So the first thing I wanted to show you is the reason why I am looking at some um, concentration of momentum upside, as I said, and the main reason is this. It's not the main, but the biggest time frame is this one. So this is the monthly chart, as you can see there, and here we have the price exhaustion indicator, and here we have the money flow indicator. So you see the levels of the actual volume, because that's a volume indicator at the end, is so low. It's something never seen since we have data, because the data on FXCM are only coming on volume after 2003, something like this. So we don't have them before, and we can't have them before. If somebody knows how to do it, I would be very interested, but we don't have them. So that's one of the lowest reading ever seen. Okay, and here we have a very strong reading, as we said. So if we look in other places, like for example here with a low reading, you see we had a move up of 4,000 pip. Here here we had some signal. Here we had even no reading, and we went up 3,000 pip. There, for example, here we have another signal, and we have a low reading. We went up 1,700 pips, and there we had a very strong signal with a low reading, and you see the price went up here only, I would say, 1,300 pips. And we can look at several cases like this. This one, we didn't have a low reading on the volume. And the thing we must consider there is not only this reading, but we must look at other reading, like the daily. We have here a signal on the daily. The 4 hours not ready yet. The 1 hour yesterday gave a long signal, and we have that all the way all the way on the different time frame I'm looking at. So that's the reason why I prefer to stay long, and that's for me the best risk reward position to get now. I'm not saying we don't go lower, as I already said many times here and in the Twitter feed. Of course, I can't say that, that would be stupid, but that's where we are. So we have here a strong full tank of momentum on the upside, something to push up, ready to push up. If we look only from a technical point of view, if we go to this area here, you see it's 750 pips. So that would be the real first area where we would see some resistance there. And of course, this big monthly volume block here that will give for sure when we will come there. You can take that and keep it on your charts, but that's an area where we will see some reaction on the upside. Okay, so that's something to keep on the chart, because that's something we will see, and that will happen. Now, from this morning, I took along exactly at this bottom, and you already probably know why, but I will show it here because that's something I do daily. I take a blank chart, I put new fibs, I look for something new and try to be as objective as possible. So it's something very important to do. So if we take, sorry, that's not what I wanted to show you, of course, here. Let me take it here. Okay. So this one doesn't want. Okay. So if we take this big monthly chart and we look at the all-time fib, that's what I've got it here. That's what I did, and that's why I took this big trade this morning. Several lots here, right there. because we had short-term confirmation of upside setup. We have the big long monthly that I told you. So you see, we are here in this area, and we touch and we bounce to the peak from this 20. It's not the 23 because we are on the other side, but that, it doesn't matter. It's the 7640 fib, 7640% fib. So this area in the next, if we go a little bit lower, in the next move down, will be, this area will be reactive, and we have the level for that, and we know we will see something happening there. Okay, so that's something very important to keep in mind. So that's the first big fib I had, and I showed this morning, and since last week's, this fib is very easy to find. You can just take the biggest fib you can take, and you have this thing here. So you see that it has been overshooted in many occasions, especially on the 50% here. Same thing on the 61.8 before resuming higher, coming back to the 50%, and now going in this area. So of course we can go lower. We can go to the 78.6 at 0.98. We can go a little bit lower, and we will see where we could find how we could find, sorry, the lowest levels with the fibs, the extension fib and the ABC fib. So the other thing we have is we have two things here I'm looking at, and that's what I will show again here, is this monthly, the big monthly we take on the Heikin-Achi candle. It's cleaner and nicer. So we have this big impulsive move, this consolidation here. You see, this is a big consolidation here. So impulsive, consolidation, impulsive. So this is a big monthly ABC, and we need to play in between all the time frame when we do that work, because if we don't, we can miss something. So if we take this one, you see we have the ABC here, and this is the 61.8, which is so important there, really so important. I will put it red just for the video now. Sorry, I will put it red as I said for the video now, or pink, okay, whatever. So we have it here. It's very important because if, as it could still happen, because we are only, sorry to say only, but we are only now 250 pips under this level. So if, as I think it could happen, we have a big bounce today, let's say with Lagarde being very hawkish and NFP being very bad, which is something that could happen, then we will have a big bounce and we will close above that. And that means on a weekly base, we will post a fades breakout of this 61.8. And that would be something very important to take in consideration, because this level is a very big level. So this is the ABC, the monthly ABC that I've been showing, and that I'm using for the shorter term fibs. Then if we go on a smaller time frame and we take this weekly here, you see here we have an ABC. So we can paste it, because I already did, of course, to save some time. So this is ABC. And this one is the one that gave us in many occasions, we can look at it on a 4-hour chart. This one have given us some good reaction. You see here on the 7640, you see here that the 61.8 fib has been broken, but we came back and we shorted from here, and that was a very good short entry. So that's a place where we are trading now. And if we go a little bit more in details inside there, let me grab this fib on the other chart I have on the side, copy, paste. Then we take this small fib here. You can see it better probably on the Heikin-Achi candle. Put it on the 4-hour. So we have here an ABC. So A, B, and C. And we are now unfolding the C. And in this one too, we have had some very good support. So you see when we zoom in, how, for example, here we have been using this, let me put it extended on the side. So we have been using the 61.8 here. We have a confluence of 76 and 61.8. That's what we had. And we have been using it. Of course, the other thing we have seen this morning is we have used here, we had just a little bit above there, the daily open, and we have some 4-hour resistances, and it's the breakpoint. This is a breakpoint, let's say here, if we do take it on the 1 hour. So that's mostly the breakpoint of the void level, what we call the void levels. It means the area which is traded only on one side, like there. The other thing interesting to point out is we have very big voids to be taken. Here we have another huge void, and we had other big void in this area. So we have a lot of magnet area that are, let's say, calling the price on the upside on the Euro USD. So that's what we have to look at. If we would have a big drop today, we have those fibs here that can be used, and the red one, which is important. You see how this one, even if it didn't provide a good bounce, but we know it's reactive in this area, like we know it's reactive there. That's why I just shorted it there this morning, a few 1 hour ago, something like that. Took a small short, and I'm long right from this bottom there, which is a good area. Then if we look further, as we do usually on the weekly updates, so if we look at this big multi-year all-time fib, you see we have here the 7640, the 78.6 fib there, and the 88 and the 1-to-1 extension here. So that's a lot of distance from where we are now. The next is about 1,000 pips, 930, and of course the other one is 2,000 something. I don't think we will see a 0.93, but we have always to be ready for everything. So I exchanged nothing. I'm looking for a bounce. We should have a bounce, a few hundred pips bounce at least. And if we post some phase breakout, and if we can see some continuation, then we would enter in the monthly setup, and that would be for probably 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 pips on the upside. So that's what I'm looking at now. It's logical. At the same time, we have seen, I posted it already, we have seen this chart. So this chart is important on Dixie because we always look for confluences, Dixie and Euro USD, because Dixie is made of 60% of Euro USD. So you have this big chart. And the last thing I spoke about in the previous video was this. I'm playing this trend line back test after breaking the trend line, which is something we see a lot when we are building some top or bottom structures. So we break a trend line, we come back, test this once. Sometimes we can just fall from there, and sometimes we come back and retest it and retest it. So it can be 2 or 3 even sometimes test of the trend line. So here you see the first bounce. I will take this magnet off. So the first bounce was 4.38%. Okay, this one, let's take this one from there, has been here 4.04%. So it's about a 4% bounce each time. What we saw here is a little bit, even if we are still aggressively pushing up, but it's a little bit less momentum than we had. So it's something we need to observe. From there, we would like to see a double topping structure, something like this, come back here and fall from there. Or we can still look higher and follow this trend line a little bit more before resuming lower. But the actual readings on the indicator are showing a real price weakening, meaning we need to go down on the Dixie. We need to breathe some. So here we had a small pullback that was about 2.35%. We could have the same pullback here, probably to this area, and then or bounce from it up or struggle inside here and go lower. So that's what we have. It's important to keep this long-term view to make sure that inside big move, potential move that we can see today, we have everything ready on the downside with all the level we want to look at as we have there, and on the upside and on the upside, of course, for the same reason, or to get short when we have a short setup, or to bank when we want to bank. So that's all for today. I will keep on informing. So you see now the very big first area to look at on the upside if we bounce for a potential short or short add area is there. So this is where we will see for sure a pullback when we get there, because people that are working with emails, and by the way, if we speak about emails, whatever we look at, we have, let me find the chart I wanted to show you, but we have a real we look, I will take this one. If we look at this chart here, we have a real strong bearish momentum there. You see the bearish momentum, you see the space you have in between the different emails. This is only the 2021 emails and things like this. So you see the price is barely pushing higher. This 1 hour 2021, this is a 15-minute chart. So if we look at it on a larger time frame, we can see that again. I have it here, the other chart I'm using, and you see exactly the same thing, because there is a very strong momentum. If we look at this on the upside, on the downside, sorry, there is now a very strong momentum. There we started to see some interesting melting of EMAs, MAs, and now we had this second leg lower, and that's what we have now. So you can do this thing here too, which will give you like this big ABC. I think we did it too, but I will do that just the last thing we will do this morning before going back to look at the next thing. So you see, this is another email we can draw. This is a 1 hour chart. Let's put it on the 4 hour. So you see, this is a big ABC. I will put it better here. You have the B there. Okay, very good. And we have the C. Let me take out the drawing. And we have the C where I called for a short. That's why we had this drawing here. So we have the C here. So we see this ABC down, and we stop on this big 76.40 that I just showed, but you see we have the 1 to 72 extension in this area too. So that's everything we need to look at always to find confluence of information that are telling us where to go. So as I said, due to the strength of this momentum, even if I think it's more near being, we are more near a reversal than a very big continuation on the downside. I think on the downside, as I said, we have perhaps 200 pips or something like this. And on the upside, we have a huge amount of pips of several thousand, probably even, that we could see. So that's what I wanted to show you. This is the weekly. So this one is the weekly. You see, we have not touched the weekly since February 22. So that's a long time ago. So next time we would come back in this area, that we would see, of course, a pullback from there. So have fun inside these data that are coming, trade safe, and enjoy the last hours of this week.